So I was away on business for a while, and I'm back. But one thing I didn't miss was this whole quarterback battle with the Cleveland Browns with Shedeur Sanders, Pickett, Gabriel, and Joe Flacco. And the biggest thing, right? So right now, Joe Flacco has been pegged to be pretty much the starting quarterback. He's been pegged pretty much. They haven't announced it, but he's going to be QB1 on day one for the Browns. So then it's like, okay, well, who's going to be quarterback two? And as far as the quarterback pecking order is at this point, you have Flacco quarterback one, you have Kenny Pickett at two, Dillon Gabriel at three, and Shedeur Sanders at four. So, few things happen um, in this time is that one, Kenny Pickett got hurt. He hurt his hamstring. So that took him out of the equation. Couldn't play any preseason games. Then Dillon Gabriel, he tweaked his hamstring. So now you have quarterback two and quarterback three out. Quarterback one, Joe Flacco, he's not going to play in the preseason game. So that left Shedeur to go against Carolina. And the Browns added another quarterback, Tyler Huntley, for backup. So the question was, how was Shedeur Sanders going to perform? We were told that he was slow. We were also told that he didn't have that great of an arm. We were also told that he didn't process well. And this was all being told to fans by the Cleveland media, particularly. They were saying that this is what was going on. And they also was hyping up Dillon Gabriel, saying how far ahead of Shedeur Sanders. They called Dillon Gabriel the supercomputer because he processed so well. So, like everyone else, we were curious to see how Shedeur Sanders would perform against the Carolina Panthers. And as I sat on my couch to see how he performed, I said, wow. I said, he looks pretty fast to me. That scramble he had made against the Carolina. I thought they said he was slow. I mean, he's no Lamar Jackson, but if he can give me that, that'll do. Then I saw his passing, his throws, pinpoint accuracy, his touchdowns, the accuracy, elite. I said, I thought they said he wasn't all that good of a passer. It looked pretty nice to me. It would definitely do. And I saw how he was commanding the huddle. Oh my goodness. I thought they said he couldn't command a huddle, that he just couldn't process well. Well, he not only commanded the huddle, he went through all his progressions when he was doing his plays, and he did what he had to do. Browns got the ball on any turnovers. What did Dillon do? What did Shedeur do? He scored. He scored touchdowns, no field goals, touchdowns. So his red zone accuracy was excellent. He knew what he was doing. He was in control of the game. He wasn't flustered at all. Now, not everything was perfect, I'll tell you that now. Not everything was perfect. But after the first quarter, he seemed to settle in. And you could see he was just playing with that confidence. And while I'm watching the game, as the game went on, and once they got into the red zone, I'm like, the Browns are going to score. I had that confidence that Shedeur was going to get them into the end zone no matter what. And he was doing it. So the next day, when the Browns had won, Shedeur had played a really good game. And you're like, okay, well, let's see how the quarterback battle goes. Like, will Shedeur move up in the rankings there? You know, will he move from quarterback 4 to at least quarterback 3? Nothing changed. Browns being the Browns. So I said, okay, well, the excuse is that they want to see Dillon Gabriel play. Okay. Still don't understand the Kenny Pickett situation. He hasn't played. It doesn't look like he's going to play anytime soon. So he should definitely be QB4, but that's a discussion for another time. But we say, all right, let's see what Dillon Gabriel could do. So Dillon Gabriel, he goes out and plays against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm not number one. I'm not going to be like these other people and hate on Dillon. Okay. You know, you have a lot of folks out there who are saying that he's this and he's that, saying he's trash. Then you have the other sides of it saying he's great. He's a supercomputer. He processes well. The truth of the matter is that he went out against the Eagles and he played against the second string, their second team. So they were playing against second and third stringers. He did well. He came out, he hit his first 6 passes, I believe. He was efficient. He moved the team. The team was moving down the field. What I first saw of Dillon, I liked it. Then came the turnovers. He threw that pick 6, and it was a ball he should have never thrown. Now, a lot of the excuses that, well, look at what the receivers did. Look at what the tight end. You can see the tight end kind of put his throat. He reached out for the ball and then he pulled back. Can't do that. But Dillon has to know better not to throw that ball. He just shouldn't have done that. Then he had the handoff where that was definitely Dillon's fault, where he short-armed the ball to the running back. You can't do that. Now, overall, and then we look at the comparisons between Shedeur and Gabriel, their stats there. But overall, I have to say that Sanders, I will give him a B+. A B+ to an A-. Gabriel, on the other hand, I'll give him a solid B. Now, Gabriel was decent in this game, but the problem is it's the turnovers. And we know Stefanski does not like turnovers, right? And Gabriel needs to put the ball in the end zone, right? So he did lead them on some scoring drives, but if you're not putting the ball in the end zone, that's what you need to do. If you don't do it, your team, you're gonna strain your defense. That's what's gonna happen. So I mean, and I'm just being honest here. Dillon Gabriel, at the end of the day, is a good backup quarterback. That's what he is. And the Browns, I know that's what they drafted him for. And now what I'm believing now, and at first, I was thinking, well, okay, it was Jimmy Haslam who wanted Shedeur picked. He wanted Shedeur on the team. Haslam came out and said, well, no, he didn't. It was all Andrew Berry. And now I'm beginning to believe that. I believe that Shedeur was Andrew Berry's pick and Dillon was Kevin Stefanski's pick. And he's just, getting back to Dillon, he's just a good backup quarterback. That's all he will be. I mean, if it's like short outs, right? Quick passes down the field, nothing long. Shedeur will be great. I mean, excuse me, Dillon's great for that. That's, great system quarterback. Great system quarterback. But if there's anything off script, Shedeur's your man. Shedeur not only can be system, he can also improvise. And that's what you need in a quarterback. That's what you need in a starter. Okay? Shedeur is a quarterback who has starter potential. Not Dillon Gabriel. It's just we need to be honest with that. And the Cleveland media, they're just not honest with that. They keep pushing this narrative with Dillon Gabriel being this supercomputer guy. And he's just not there. First of all, he's what, 5'11", maybe. He can't see over the line. And he's a decent player. Don't get me wrong. But he's not better than Shedeur. I mean, we have to be honest with that. All right? Now, for me, the rankings, what it should be definitely Flacco number 1, Shedeur 2. We can have Dillon 3 and Kenny Pickett 4. Kenny Pickett has not proven, he's not done anything in this whole camp. And I understand he's been injured, but that's just the way it is. You got to be available, man. And he's just not. And if someone needed to get cut off the team out of the 4, to me, cut him or trade him. Kenny Pickett. Right? But the sad part about this is that no matter what, and I believe that Kevin Stefanski is going to want to justify his pick of Dillon Gabriel. Because let's be honest here. He was picked too early. You picked him in the 3rd round. And that was so that was so complexing about this situation, that you picked him in the 3rd round and you got Shedeur in the 5th. Why do that? Because you look at it, the Browns bought this to themselves. Why? Why even bother if Dillon's your guy and you're not going to have a real quarterback competition? Because let's be honest, this has not been a competition at all. To the Browns, all right, Dillon Gabriel is the chosen one. They're like, no matter what, this is our guy because he's 3rd round. And I know folks are going to say, well, wait a minute. That's what they do, a 3rd rounder versus a 5th rounder. But if you're a smart organization, you'll realize to say, wait a minute, this guy over here, I know he's a lower uh, round guy. I know he's a lower round guy, but he was in the fifth or sixth or whatever round we drafted him. But he's better than this other guy. Let's just admit it. We made a mistake. The San Francisco 49ers did that. Right? Brock Purdy. He was picked in the seventh round. All right. And the Niners, they had their QB that they picked in the first round, Trey Lance. They picked him in the third round, and I mean the first round, excuse me. And after a while, it was like, you know what? Um, I think there was some. I think Garoppolo got hurt, and then Lance, something he had gotten hurt, and Purdy was balling. And they're like, well, wait a minute. We're going to have to go with this guy. We're going to go with this guy because he's the best quarterback. Yeah, we spent a lot to get this other guy here, but let's cut our losses right now. And they did it. That's what good organizations do. And that's why they're the Niners. Then you have the Browns. And you have all of this chaos going on. So that's what we got. Let's stop. Let's stop all the nonsense. Shedeur is the better quarterback. Shedeur should be at least number 2. Now, one thing that got me about Dillon Gabriel, I don't know if you heard it, but it's beginning to get out about his entertainers versus competitors comment. So he was getting interviewed on the sidelines, and he made a comment saying that you have entertainers and then you have competitors like himself. And when I heard that, I was like, oh boy. I said, this is going to be taken as he's taking a shot at Shedeur. And the reason why is because, I don't know if you follow college football or not. Well, it was a couple of years ago, I believe, the Colorado Buffaloes played the Oregon Ducks. Of course, Shedeur, Colorado, Gabriel, Oregon, and the Oregon coach had made a comment saying that Colorado was about clicks and views, and Oregon was about wins. And man, he said it with his chest. Go back and look at some of those videos. Well, that particular video when he said it, and he was hyping up his team. And I'm like, woo. And when I heard him say that, the hate was the hate was there. And it brought us back to today, what Dillon said, the entertainers versus competitors. Now, he tried to walk it back where he said when he was talking about the entertainers, he was meaning that talking about the media. But I don't know. To me, it seemed like, he may have been taking the shot at Shedeur. If he wasn't, my bad. But I don't know. That right there just seemed too close. Right. Now, after this weekend, so you got today Sunday, and then Monday back at practice, and then next week the Browns play the Rams. They play the Rams in Cleveland, and right now Sanders is nursing an oblique injury, but they say it's day to day, and the hopes is that he will be ready to play, and hopefully he'll be ready to play Sunday. And I would say, to me, I thought that without Sanders playing was kind of a missed opportunity. But it is what it is. Hopefully he'll be ready for next week against the Rams. So the hope is that both Sanders and Gabriel will play, and they will once again try to see who should be quarterback two. Right now, in my mind, it should be Sanders quarterback two. But why not give both guys another chance again, additional chance to make some decision on who will be quarterback two. However, if Sanders is still quarterback four on Monday, I mean, if he's still quarterback four, and he probably will be quarterback four, and the reasons, it's because these are the Cleveland Browns. Decisions that they make is just out of the it's just out of the unordinary. It's the bizarre, the things that they do. They'll cut their nose off to spite their face. That's who they are, and that's what type of organization they is. And one thing I will just say this, that if he goes into the season as quarterback four, I would hope that Shedeur will push for a trade to get out of Cleveland. Because if you do well in OTAs, if you do well in practice, okay, if you do well in preseason games, and you're consistent like he's been, and you got other guys, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, not being consistent, all right, throwing interceptions in practice, in camp, throwing interceptions in the games, making mistakes, and you find yourself like, well, wait a minute. It's like, and I tell you, Shedeur, he's stronger than me. He's stronger than a lot of folks. He could just be like, you know what? No matter what I do, they're just not going to promote me. You ever been at a job and you've worked and you're working hard and you see folks that have higher positions than you, and you know that you're better than them, and you're stuck. You're a great worker. You work hard. You do what you can do, but you don't move up. Why? Because that other person is friends with the boss, or for whatever reason, they're liked by the boss. Not that they work hard or anything, but he's just, or she's favored by the boss. And then you say, you know what? I'm never going to go anywhere here. Let me get my resume together, get my resume and get out of here, because I know that I have the talent to make a difference somewhere else, somewhere where I'm wanted. Oh, that's the same thing with Shedeur. He needs to get that resume together if he's still QB4. Not so much Monday, but definitely by the start of the season. Because it's just showing that you ain't wanted. You may be wanted by the GM because you're making the GM look good, but the coach, he's the one you have to please. And if he doesn't like you no matter what, it ain't even worth it. Try to get out. Try to force a trade somehow. shine somewhere else. Because here's the thing. If you continue with this franchise, you can get lost in the sauce. And then other teams will start thinking, oh, well, he must not be any good. He couldn't even get QB2 with the Browns. And we know that's not even true, where he should be QB2. And you can argue QB1. But it's all right. You let Joe Flacco play and lead the team for the first six, 7 games. But without question, if he's not QB3 at least, go for the trade, because they're showing that they don't want you. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm out.